Well, it's time for our Sunday morning recap, and I don't know if you made it to the journey yesterday or not, but I got to tell you, Mark chapter number 2, verses 1 through 12, a story that I think many of us have heard of, where the four men lower their friend down before Jesus, and Jesus changes the man's life. But it was based on something very specific. It was based on the faith moves of the four, not the one. Let me read it to you and see if you can see it. In Mark chapter number 2, verse number 1, and it says, "And again he entered into Capernaum, and after some days, and it was noised that he was in the house, and straightway many gathered together, insomuch that there was no room for them, no, not so much as about the door. And he preached the word unto them." So there was this group of people. They had jammed this house so much that people were crowded around the doors. If there was a window, they were peering into the windows. They were in the courtyard. It was just packed. Anywhere you could maybe get a glimpse, maybe hear, they were already there. And then we get into verse number 3, and notice what happens. It says, "And they come unto him, bringing one sick of the palsy, which was born of four." That's where we get the four friends bringing their buddy. "And when they could not come nigh unto him for the press, they uncovered the roof where he was. And when they had broken it up, they let down the bed whereon the sick of the palsy lay." Beautiful story. They just tore open a hole in the roof, and somehow, some way, maybe tying some extra bed sheets together, they lowered this bed down to where the man lands gently before Jesus. And notice what Jesus said. When Jesus saw their faith, he said unto the sick of the palsy, "Son, thy sins be forgiven thee." And so Jesus responds. What's really cool about this is that they didn't have to convince Jesus that the man was worthy. Jesus looks up and sees the effort that was gone to by the four to get this young man before him that had no hope of a normal life. And he looks up at these guys, and I'm sure he's looking up when he says, "Thy sins be forgiven thee." Talking about the young man. But what's powerful about this is, as far as we know, there's 5. There may be 10, 4 people lowering one man down, and then some others. Who knows what the total number was in this group that made this effort. But we know that the 4 caught Jesus' attention because of how much faith they had to get this man before him. And Jesus will later actually call out to him and tell him, "Get up, take your bed, and go home. You're healed." In fact, verse number 12 says this, "And immediately he arose and took up the bed and went forth before them all, insomuch," listen to this, "that they were all amazed and glorified God, saying, we had never saw it in this fashion." Wow. This is all happening because of the faith of others on their friend. That's the impact, and that's something I think every believer needs to consider. What kind of impact are you making on the people around you? Are you making the kind of impact? Are you making the moves that will put them before Jesus and have Jesus heal them? Not because they said, "I believe," but because you believed that he could. I'm just telling you, we got to raise our expectations of what God can do through us. Have a great start to your week.